Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. Last time we finally got the mysterious Englishwoman that we knew that was dining with the victim up here on the stand here, testifying. And after a bit of testimony here, we got her to make a contradiction here that says that they each had a glass of carbonated water to drink at the dinner, or so not the dinner, the luncheon. Now we know this is not true because if we look at the... Oh, I didn't want to press that. Well, we're going to press it anyway, because I hadn't pressed it before, but... I wanted to present evidence there, but we're going to press it, because I accidentally pushed that. So both you and the professor drank this carbonated water, did you? Yes. Being the waiter, I poured the 2 glasses myself. I clearly remember doing so. Well, you're committing a perjury, my friend. Except you're actually a detective. And the beefsteak. That was for you, Miss Brett. I don't understand if she can understand us or not, speaking Japanese. The lady says that she heard it was not customary to eat beef here until Japan opened its doors to the world. Yes, that's true. What a frightful place, is the lady's opinion. Now, I've heard it's not customary to eat sashimi in Great Britain. Now that's frightful. Every country has its own cuisine. As long as people have food to eat, what does it matter what it is? True, come to think of it. The first time I tried carbonated water, it was much more of a shock than the first time I tried beef. But anyway, back to this witness's statement. Somehow, I feel like there's something out of place in what she's saying. Yeah, I know what it is, I just accidentally pressed it. We need to pounce on even the slightest thing now. Because you never know what might lead us to our goal. Our goal of turning this trial around. Understood, Kazuma. Yeah, I know what it is, I know what it is. We're going to present here. Yeah, so if we take a look at the old crime scene photograph. Look at that! There's only 1 glass! 1 glass! Take that! There's that dumb face again. That's it! Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, it's odd, very odd. Dear me, what's odd is the defense's inability to express itself. Ryunosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? That's not how I would have put it, but okay. Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Oh! You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here. Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? Yeah, like, I'm with the prosecution on this one. This doesn't really seem to lead to anything. They can just say, oh, sorry, it was only 1 glass. My mistake. Or they cheered only over 1 glass. Yeah, I don't see where this can lead us, honestly. What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case? Minutia, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you could clink with only 1? You're quite right. I certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Blah 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 blah. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Excuse me, what? Good gracious. That is incredibly suspicious. Sorry.
There. As I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all.
Oh, please. We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Oh, I forgot to do that in his voice. Hang on. Let's go back on that.
We must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray?
That's absurd. Oh, really?
Oh, really? So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief?
I'm so tired of this argument that she's a young, beautiful woman, she can't do anything wrong. No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene. Yeah, we just said that she couldn't. They're claiming that she couldn't conceal a firearm. So they're now they're gonna claim that she's been concealing a glass. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag. That she could have. Oh my gosh! This is ridiculous. That she could have been carrying a gun. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. A small handheld pouch, commonly carried by a well-to-do woman in England.
So the beautiful young lady.
Like, he didn't even say young there, but I'm so like. I know, I'm so used to it by now. I just assumed that would be there.
So the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end, it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You have wasted enough time already.
Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed the glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. No! Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? No! Well, I don't know really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're gonna need to show that has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. There's a deeper significance there. It's the handbag. Wait! The lady put the glass in her handbag, you say?
Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Like guns.
Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Yes! But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. You're right! Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
What do you think, my man? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce that there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will. I remember, okay, so in past Ace Attorney games, they're able to do, like, ballistic analysis on the guns to figure out, you know, what gun a bullet came from. I'm assuming that's not a thing in this time period. So that would be too easy.
You can't seriously be suggesting.
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Did you or did you not search Miss Jezaille Brett's handbag on the day of the murder?
I bet you didn't. No, sir, I did not. We got him.
In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag.
No!
I'm so bad at doing the yelling voice for him.
No!
Order! Order! Order!
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchie?
Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? Ahem. Ahem. Get yourself together, man. I really want to know the significance of his, like, coughing he's doing. Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. So the police searched her bag, then. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what you say. I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I completely forgotten about. This photographic print. Did she leave it behind? This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. You had a camera with you? What? Why? As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. It's transparent? Or it's like only like a wire mesh kind of bag. Well, I never! You can see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So there's no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. Ah! As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. I want to look more closely at that bag. Maybe there's like another pouch to it or something. Thank you for helping to prove that, Naruhodo-san. That's quite the exaggerated expression there. Order! Order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Submit the bag as evidence, why don't you? Certainly, Your Excellency. Alright, photograph taken by Hosonaga-san. After the incident occurred, it shows Miss Brett's handbag on a chair by the victim's table. When was that taken? Was that taken before she left? I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print has just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, I'm satisfied there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my rule. No! Do you not find it suspicious that she wanted to conceal her presence there? That's not a good explanation, dude. Indeed. And there's only one logical conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around. I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Oh, Kazuma's upset too. Kazuma. I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? What, you mean this is it? I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weak are meat, while the strong eats. You are wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. A fact you could chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma, his dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Well, I mean, he's only... Well, here's the thing. Like, he's not the defense attorney, though, so he can just choose to go there. Anyway, but he just doesn't want to because of that. What? Is there really no chance of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I'll now proceed immediately to the ruling. It seems we will be able to report to the British government on time after all. That smug little... Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Having considered all the evidence... Oh. Yeah, we're gonna object here, obviously. Wait, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke. I don't think you can rule on this case yet.
This amateurish is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of this courtroom.
Was I always wearing a glove like that? What is that on my hand? I mean, this is like the first time I'm seeing this image, though, to be fair, for this sprite. Your Excellency, just a moment ago, you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there's no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now that means that there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail, I mean. And the ruling on the case at this time would be out of question.
This is a blatant straw clutching. Hey, this is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is a handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question.
Well, hang on a second. I want to look at this real quick. What is this on his hand here? I wonder what this is right here. I don't understand. I'm also like looking at the handbag too here, right? Surely if it was completely transparent, we would be able to see the tablecloth on the other side of this, right? Surely there's just another pouch to it, like on the other side.
There can be no problem with this evidence.
Better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how it could glean any new information from this handbag.
Ha! My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes.
Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
Ooh, I've never seen this before. And like slamming the gavel into his hand. But be warned that if I'm unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So take another look at this photographic print Inspector Hosonaga submitted before. You'll identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail to which you have alluded. Oh man, I don't know. Well, it can only be one of two things. It's either the fact that we can't see the other side of the handbag here, or it's whatever this is on his hand. Let me examine the post-mortem report. Single bullet fired close range. Fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. Let me look at this glass. Is there anything significant about the glass in here? You know what? Now that I'm looking at it, it's very hard to tell, but it looks like the glass has liquid in it, right? Well, actually, no, we're saying these are two different glasses, so it doesn't make any sense. I was gonna say, like, oh, the glass she has no liquid in it, but... Well, let me think about this more. So the glass... The glass that she's claiming is hers is empty. No, I don't know. This is a tricky one, guys. I feel like I'm missing something here. I just don't see the significance of this little mark on his hand, so I'm gonna guess it's probably something to do with the glass, the bag. I still think there's another pouch to this little handbag here. I'm just gonna present like right there.
Yes.
Just here. I feel sure that around this area there's something extreme. Okay, yeah, that was not correct.
What's significant is your inability to positively identify anything wrong with this picture at all. Eek!
I concur. I praise the prosecution for his quick-wittedness. I know it's the handbag that stands out in this picture, but you need to look further. Examine everything, otherwise you might miss an important clue. Always try to see the whole, and don't be blinkered by individual details. I know you can do it. If I could do it, then I wouldn't have pointed out the wrong part of the picture just now. Alright, let's point at the picture on his, or the mark on his hand.
Hold it.
Wait, Your Excellency. The court should give consideration to the fact this man is an amateur. One more chance, please. Well, I suppose he is just a callous student lawyer with little sense of protocol in these matters. I'm starting to feel insulted here. So, take another look at the photograph. Alright, what is the significance of this right here?
Yes.
Yeah, that was it. Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection.
Dear me, I was pondering what new pipeful you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Clearly that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag.
Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination.
Then why isn't that written in the gosh dang report then?
It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report.
What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either.
The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. Yeah, it looks like a cattle head or whatever. However, as Prosecutor Ouchi points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Blah 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 blah. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now.
No! Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway.
What's your thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am. If we could just link that burn to the case. If we could do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again. Or pry, my bad.
Just give up, counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. But if we have evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. I don't suppose I can examine this, right? Yeah, that's not gonna give me anything. This is nothing. I don't think I see anything here. Single bullet fired at close range, fatal hemorrhage from the pectoral ballistic trauma, no exit wound, the bullet did not pass through body. There's nothing here. I'm looking around for something that like matches that mark. I don't think I see it. Can I rotate this? Yeah, I can. Actually, hang on. Let me go back to the badge. No, yeah, this is nothing. Oh, there it is. It's on the plate. It's right there. Let's present that.
Yes.
What's this, Council? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore.
Do you hurry up, rookie? What are you trying to say?
To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection.
You can't fool me with your little bluffs, boy. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn?
Well, it's right here on the plates. Take that!
The beefsteak.
Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate. Oh! Oh! Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. Ah! This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape.
Ah!
Ryunosuke, you genius! I'm not sure what that means, but we'll see where it takes us. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection.
But even that's the case, we can't know if it happened on the day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or the day before that. It most likely happened at some other unrelated time.
Well,
Objection.
no, but the medical report, right? Sadly, Prosecutor Ouchie, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks.
Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Oh, yeah. If it was older, it would have faded, yeah. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hasanaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But...
I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not particularly a large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This is no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. What? How do you know that? That is very scientific. It's inconceivable that the victim would have let out a scream. Wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. So this happened... I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. So, okay. So, this could mean one of two things. Either he's still under effects for the pain, the anesthesia, like it prevented him from feeling it, or it happened after he died. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burnt themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. No question of that. And yet, Inspector Hasanaga never heard the professor scream. Not on that day, or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrists on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, counsel. And the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us without any question have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchie?
Well, yes, I suppose.
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Ryunosuke, do you think? Can it really be true? Never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson... I'm trying to think what's more logical here. He wasn't asleep. That's dumb. It's either because the anesthesia was preventing him from noticing the burn, or he was already dead. But I'm trying to think what that would mean if he was already dead. Because why? Because what would that mean if he was burned? Like, why would he be burned? Like, how would his wrist gotten there? I'm gonna say he hadn't noticed the burn. Yes, the professor, being absent-minded as usual, was unaware of his hand falling onto the piping hot plate and didn't even notice the burn happening. Didn't even know the professor, and yet here you are labeling him as a bumbling scattering brain. How about I hold your wrist on a hot plate and we see how your bumbling scatterbrain copes? Perhaps the scream you let out will wake you up a bit. Well, it's nice that this frankness developing between his partner. Don't call me partner after coming up with this nonsense like that. This is a critical moment. It may very well be our only chance to turn things in our favor. So come on, Ryunosuke, you can do it. Or rather, you have to do it. You're the only one who can. Well, thanks for telling me I'm wrong in like the most insulting way possible, game. Alright. So he was already dead. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's clearly impossible. Apart from in one particular situation. Counsel? Are you suggesting? Yes, it's only possible. The man was already dead.
Oh, already?
Dead? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's madness!
Order, please! Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot.
That's right, absolutely right, Your Excellency. This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Objection!
I'm trying to figure out the timeline to this right now. Because Ryunosuke clearly went over and talked to the professor, right? Like, did he not get his food before then? Well, we'll see how this plays out. No, Prosecutor Ouchie, it's you who has no grasp of the facts.
I beg your pardon?
As soon as it became apparent the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Your Excellency, this court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your lunch and engagement.
But, Your Excellency.
The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. Oh, she's smiling. Don't like that. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I'd be delighted to help. Okay, so now she's speaking Japanese. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours.
Miss Brett, you speak Japanese?
Probably should give her a voice too.
Well, of course I do. I'm studying your country after all.
Well then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now?
My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking your vulgar tones as much as possible. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with all of you on your own level. Oh, well... You are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us.
I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So why did you just suddenly decide to switch languages? So we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Alright guys, I think we're going to leave the episode here for today. I hope you enjoyed. Next time we're going to hear from her testimony in her own words. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, I can't wait to see what this is all about. This is going to be certainly interesting. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye!